Ladies and gentlemen of the press, as I mentioned in my response to the 2018-2019 budget, this budget was nothing but a list of dreams and aspirations with no strategy for their realization. There are many instances of budget pronouncements for which no financial provisions were made in the annual estimates. This budget was of little substance and will do little to improve the lives of the unemployed and citizens looking for better and affordable health care. The Prime Minister continues to show little understanding of the country's public debt. Shockingly, he appears unaware that he cannot reduce the public debt of the country by having a statutory body borrow money rather than central government. In fact, he spoke of reducing the government's public debt by having SLASPA to borrow the funds for port improvements. Deferred finance contracts are also debt. And once more, I'm calling on the Prime Minister to come to Parliament at the earliest possible time for a guarantee to pay for the roads that were built in Miku. The Prime Minister, in his 2018-19 budget, has committed to increasing the price of gasoline by at least $1 per gallon, a direct consequence of an increase in the excise tax on gasoline. So much for no taxes. The Prime Minister has ignored the negative impact of the increase on the livelihood of fisherfolk. Almost 2 years in office, the government is no closer to announcing a credible mechanism for the funding of the new Owen King Uyo Hospital. No serious effort has been made to discuss the administration of the National Health Insurance Scheme with the people involved. The Prime Minister has wasted another opportunity to come clean on the future of the St. Jude Hospital project, out of respect for the lives of the citizens of this country who seem to be dying or who are dying with inadequate health care. Our worst fears on the CIP have been realized. We want the government not to interfere with the CIP program as conceived by the St. Lucia Labour Party. Now, according to the U.S. State Department, the entire program may be in jeopardy. Let us refocus on what the Prime Minister said in his closing remarks and forget about the distractions of investigations. The Prime Minister stated he accepts personal responsibility for a number of matters relating to the range development in Black Bay and CIP issues. The Prime Minister explained that he is concerned that CIP-approved applicants who were revoked had to have their names published. In other words, it is not our business who gets our citizenship and who is revoked. It is interesting that the PM did not express concern about the fact that the CIP units had apparently granted to persons citizenships whose due diligence had not been completed. Only last night, it has carried on HTS News that the U.S. has expressed concerns that our CIP unit does not have the autonomy and is subject to political interference. What does that mean? Who is interfering in the CIP approval process? The Prime Minister now has to answer more questions. Who gave the directive to the CIP unit to grant these passports? What are the nationalities of these 6 revoked individuals? Are they in possession of our passports? What has been done to recall these passports? Why have some persons who have been revoked not gazetted? The St. Lucia Labour Party wishes to inform the Prime Minister that contrary to what he said, it is not the regulations that provide for persons who are revoked, but the CIP legislation. His comments that the CIP unit is reviewing that policy is noted. The Prime Minister should take note that the St. Lucia Labour Party will vigorously resist any attempt by the government to change the legislation to further undermine the integrity of the CIP program and indeed the safety and security of the people of St. Lucia. The people of St. Lucia demand transparency on the CIP and no further amendments should be made to hide things and the money being made from the people of St. Lucia. Dr. Ernest Hilaire will now speak on the witch hunt being called investigations.